Hi, I'm Stephanie Anderson, and I am a professor at Reading Area Community College, a mother, a writer, and a climate activist. I'm also a member of Reading for 100, one of the local organizations behind the Reading for 100 resolution. But my activism work is relatively new, just within the last 5 years. Before I became involved in organizing for clean energy, I was in a really bad emotional place. I had hoped that major change in energy infrastructure would come down from the top, that we would be saved by the powers that be, that a hero would stop us from destroying ourselves. But by then it was clear to me that was not going to happen soon enough. I was therefore overcome with what we now might call climate anxiety. It was a deep fear for the future of the planet, for my children's future, that manifested in nightmares, depression, panic attacks, and a general sense of despair. According to a recent CNBC article, I'm not alone. More than half of young people all over the world say that their everyday is impacted by climate anxiety. Part of my climate anxiety was about the helplessness I felt. Every day I was reminded about all I loved of this planet, its wild beauty, its people, its secrets, and its promise. And I could think of nothing to stop us from hurtling towards what scientists, with more and more urgency, were telling us was a point of no return. So I just lived every day, trying to imagine climate change away, pretending it wasn't there, and just focusing on my daily list of responsibilities. But this did not work. Almost nothing can make you feel more alone and more desperate than sitting with a sense of doom nobody else is talking about. What inspired me to take action was, at first, my own desperation to just feel better. I read about activists like Wangari Maathai, who recognized the value of even the smallest efforts. She believed in doing the best she could, even if the best she could do was something very small. After all, that one small action can inspire more small actions and then bigger ones. So I worked up some courage. I called up the Sierra Club and said I wanted to help in any way I could. I became a member, helped them manage their social media accounts and their website for a while, and then they offered me this opportunity to lead a grassroots clean energy movement in Reading. I accepted the offer with no real knowledge of energy infrastructure, of how renewable energy worked, what it would take for whole communities to transition to clean energy, or even whether such a transition could change the trajectory we were all on. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even really sure what a city council was. So blindly and with earnest persistence, I got to work. I held meetings, served snacks, made flyers, and did a whole lot of listening and learning. I still remember the thoughtful first people who attended those meetings, how much more experience they had than I did, how many questions they had about how we would move forward towards a more sustainable Reading. I still remember the uneasiness I felt over having no answers. I remember the pessimism, the enormity of the path forward, and how monumental our task seemed. But we kept coming, we kept working, and when we worked, other people noticed, and they came, and they worked, and they told others. We grew, we learned from one another, we encouraged one another, and little by little, Reading for 100 became a community effort. One much bigger and more capable than I was alone. Alexander von Humboldt explained that nature, considered rationally, is a unity and diversity phenomena, a harmony blending together all created things, however dissimilar in form and attribute, one great whole animated by the breath of life. Von Humboldt was a German naturalist and explorer, and during his travels through the Americas in the 1800s, he noticed evidence of human-caused climate change. That was more than 200 years ago. The global concern for environmental health that brings us all here today is a critical one, but it is not a novel one. 2 centuries ago, von Humboldt felt the pressing environmental responsibility we all feel today. But the urgency of that responsibility forces us now to take swift action and to do it together, because that is the essential lesson nature offered von Humboldt, and one we honor today, that we must work together. In the phenomena that he studied, the plants and the animals and the geological formations, von Humboldt didn't just see discrete beauty. He saw as well a unified organism, a collective, a commonwealth, if you will, that was the environment, the planet, life reticulate, a network of beings connected in and contributing to common life. His view of life was not dissimilar to our community, to our view of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Since I have been involved in community and climate activism, the climate emergency has not been resolved, but my nightmares have. The severity of my distress has. Alone with our anxiety, helplessness, obstacles, injustices, abilities, we cannot create change. But together, joining our various contributions like pieces of a growing ecosystem, we feel the real strength of a community and the real possibility of change. With this community ecosystem, I helped write the Reading for 100 resolution that committed the city of Reading to 100% clean energy by 2050. And with that community and its incredible energy and dedication, I witnessed Reading's City Council unanimously adopt that resolution on June 24th, 2019. And I now stand with the community of Reading as that resolution fuels the development and implementation of a climate action plan that will make Reading an economically, environmentally, and socially just community, one that is not just the result of a growing web of community members committed to protecting the future of our planet, but also one more city and a growing web of other cities, worldwide, statewide, committed to the same. It is because of Reading that I can offer this good news to you today. You are not alone. We are not alone. There are others who feel the urgency of climate action too, and together as a network of individuals and communities, however dissimilar we may be in form and attribute, we make a harmonious great whole in order to save the very planet that brought us together to begin with. Thank you.